Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another Age of Mythology Summer Tournament recorded game broadcast. We're getting close to the end of the tournament, but we've got some matches left, and tonight we've got a round of 8, so quarterfinal matchup between Shelty and Domantas, which should be a pretty close and exciting match, I think. Both these players don't play, for the most part, Egyptian. And I think maybe a lot of people would probably agree that non-Egyptian games are a little bit more exciting. So hopefully we'll see some Norse and Greek action and stuff like that. But real quick before we get into the games, we'll take a quick look at our brackets. Oh, that's the wrong page. Our brackets real quick. So we're looking at Shelty down on the bottom, who so far defeated Juniper's League 3-0 and then narrowly got past Luyandula in the second round 3-2. Domantas narrowly won in the first round 3-2. Beat Shelby 3-1, and now instead of playing Shelby, he plays Shelty in our quarterfinals. And one thing to note is that I did do a little homework, and game 2 had a save and restore. So what I'm going to do for game 2 is watch the stream of the game. So we'll at least have the game. It'll be a little bit weird because I'll be streaming a stream. So a little bit unusual, but we should. I figure it's better to show the game than to not show it at all, and hopefully we'll be able to make it work. So we're just gonna jump right into game 1 really quick here. And here we go. I got that ready. Okay, game 1. And Shelty versus Domantas, game number 1. So Kronos vs Kronos on Mediterranean. Okay, so Medit. So Shelty is our blue player, and Domantas is our red. One of the two players would have picked this map. I'm not really sure who would have. I wouldn't say normally either of these players are routinely a Kronos player. It's kind of an interesting map choice, regardless of who picked it. And Kronos v Kronos also is kind of a strange that they matched up that way. It's not like Kronos is the best god on Medit, although he's pretty solid. But there's stuff like Zeus that is also really strong as well. Like Isis is good and stuff like that. So I don't know. Not sure why they would go Kronos v Kronos. Not that Kronos is weak, but I would think that maybe one of these players would have a little bit better chance winning with maybe Zeus. I know Shelty plays some Greek. Usually plays it pretty well. I would think he could do Greek, but not like his Atlantean is terrible either. And Domantas kind of plays a wide variety of gods as well, and as does Shelty. I mean, Shelty was historically more of a Loki player, but as of late, he's kind of widened his horizon a little bit to be able to play other gods. So it's Medit playing AOT on laptop and watching me on the phone. Wow, you are dedicated. So, okay, the first deconstruct comes in. Now, one thing to know is that you can actually drop off at the dock while it's being deconstructed. I just think you have to tell the fish to drop off before the deconstruct hits. So if they're already returning before it starts deconstructing, they can drop their food off. I'm a little bit surprised that Domantas isn't also deconstructing up here. It does slow down the age up just a little bit. And Kronos on Medit, as we've seen kind of in the recent Kronos games on Medit in this tournament, is Kronos is generally all about the early aggression. And if you can slow your opponent down 10-15 seconds, especially in a mirror matchup, that's pretty important. You get your army out 10-15 seconds faster, so you kind of get that early step. So we'll see. I'm kind of surprised again Domantas isn't doing his own deconstruct, but maybe it won't matter. But we'll find out. Did I stream all of the round of 16? Not all of them. There was a couple matches I couldn't because there was too many save and restores, which ruined the recorded games. And then there's also a couple matchups that didn't get played either, which stinks. I think There might be one yet to play that doesn't have any effect on this, but I'm doing this first just because I wanted to. So theoretically I could do a round of 16 yet, but I'm not. Another thing is I'm not sure how much time I'll have to do all of the streams, so we'll save that kind of towards the last of the round of 16, or last one to do. But Kronos will be Kronos, so we'll probably see Shelty advancing a little bit faster. And it looks like he's going for about a 4:15 age up, which means he's getting some idle town center time, but he'll advance about 20 to 25 seconds faster. Yes, Chemo and Magic did play. Unfortunately, it's kind of awkward is that Magic's first person stream. In order to watch his videos, you have to be a subscriber to his channel. And then the other stream was PK Chicks, who didn't stream it on Twitch. He only does it on YouTube, which is his PK Clan channel. And I don't know if he's uploaded them yet. And I was going to do the recorded games, but there was too many observers, so the games don't even work. So you're kind of limited to waiting for, well, either subscribe to Magic's channel or wait for PK Clan to upload it to YouTube. But about the game, real quick. So Shelty is aging up about 40, well, not 40, about 25 seconds faster, which is very important. Kronos is all about that early aggression, and he will be able to deconstruct one dock right away and potentially get this villager surrounded. She's kind of in a bad spot. Might be able to. This is the wrong bracket, actually. Don't worry about that. That's the spring bracket. I forgot to change it. Deconstruct on the temple after the Promethean gets popped out. And now we have Domantas aging up at about 440. And we see that Shelty's already got boats out. And we're going to have a hard time, because Shelty's second deconstruct, it's very important to notice when it is back up. It is up in about 25 seconds. And he just needs to be careful to not lose his units. It looks like, okay, he's taking a good fight here. But if he's able to prevent Domantas from building that second dock, because Shelty will deconstruct one and will try to prevent Domantas from building another dock. And we'll see if Shelty's able to do that. And so far the fight is going Shelty's way. It looks like there's some low hit point boats for Domantas, and looks like he's getting ready to do his deconstruct. Okay, so there's a deconstruct. So now Domantas is stuck on one dock. He should have anticipated this and gotten this next dock out faster. And he's gonna have to be careful, because if his Villy gets spotted out, and he's gonna retreat his boats right next to the villager. He's not gonna be able to get this dock up, and the vill's already at like half health, and lose a citizen. That's probably water already for Domantas, and wow, yeah, that's game. Losing the water at 6 minutes and the citizen, and it just goes down to just a slower advance, and that is a very quick 6-minute victory. And Shelty went up with one fewer citizen, which allowed him to get the pressure sooner and get more boats out. And also the deconstructing of the dock, or not the dock, the temple, does give Shelty more resources for his boats, because you get your 100 wood, 100 gold back, which he probably just put, since he didn't make another temple, yeah, he just put that into more boats. And Domantas just aged up one vill too many. So when it comes to water in Atlantean, there's kind of that decision of, do you age up with, I forget if it's 5 citizens or 6, and Shelty went up with the 5 citizens, which is 417 advance, and Domantas made one more, which is the 437 advance. So he's 20 seconds slower, and he was just the initial military boom by Shelty. Domantas just couldn't keep up with, and losing out on the first dock that got deconstructed, then not being able to build a second dock, and losing a citizen, and there would be no way that he'd be able to get the water back. So it was a quick resign, but the game would be over at that point. So that's a very awkward game one, especially because, as I mentioned when probably nobody was here, game two was saved and restored. So what I'm going to do is stream Blackadder's stream of game two, just because I think it'd be better to have game two than to not have it. So I did a little homework to make sure first that if it was saved and restored, because I saw the file size was only like 17 kilobytes, so I was like, that's probably not the full game. So we were going to move on to game number two, which I have ready, and it's going to be awkward because I could probably get rid of this recorded game block too for this, because I'm not going to be able to have any music for it. So let me close this down so I don't overload my computer, and then we will just go right into game number two. So this is game number two, which actually, I guess the first game I watched was technically game number one, or game two or something, because he's got the score 0-0. But the map we're looking at here, and this is really awkward, especially because Blackadder's stream is kind of blurry, is Vinlandsaga. And I've also got my smoothie here. So Vinlandsaga, and we have Gaia for Domantas, and then on the bottom is going to be Shelty, and he might be Oranos, I think. I would like to see if Blackadder would move down. So, okay, so the it was uploaded on YouTube. Chemo complained about the lag, but I guess it's easy to complain about the lag when you lose. So Vinlandsaga, you can look at the map if you're not familiar with it, though it's kind of come up a few times in this tournament. And let me know, guys, is this showing up okay in the stream? I think it looks all good, but obviously it's a little bit unusual. So Domantas as Gaia, and then you have Shelty as Oranos. I'd say this is better map for Gaia, because on your base map you get so little resources, like only like 4 or 5, well maybe a little bit more, maybe like 10 trees. And Domantas is vetoing. Okay, so that's awkward. So we will go and restart. So you do get vetoes, which you normally don't see because I'm just doing the recorded games. So he vetoed for whatever reason, and we are just going to forward to the next game, which was the same game, but the restart. So Vinlandsaga. Yeah, it is weird because I can't scroll, so I can't like tell him where to go. But thankfully, so even though we had a veto and we're restarting, it looks like everybody spawned in the same corner. Yeah, Domantas is up in the top as the red, and he's Gaia, and then Shelty's down on the bottom as the Oranos in blue. So you do get vetoes in this tournament. Normally, because I'm just doing recorded games, we never see the vetoes. I think it's 2 vetoes per match, and when you do veto, you just restart the map with like the same god matchup and everything. So same gods, same map. It's just kind of a respawn of the map. So I would assume Domantas probably did the veto because his fish was probably very poor in the first game, and he wanted probably better fish next to his dock. And looking at the map right now, his fish is right next to his dock, and Shelty's also got a nice fish. And I think you have to veto within the first 2 minutes, possibly. Is how I think it works. It's either 2 or 2 minutes 30 seconds, something like that. So Akram is followed at a very thank you for the follow. So right now, this is a little bit unusual for you, Akram, if you aren't used to my stream. Is I'm doing the tournament match between Shelty and Domantas. This game was saved and restored, as I understood it. Or actually, you know what happened? So that's what happened, is the game that got uploaded was the vetoed game. So I wonder if the recorded game exists. and I can just download it. So actually, just hold on 1 second, and I am going to just double check and make sure that there is not the game that I can download, and then we don't have to worry about that at all. So let's see if I can find it quick. Matches. No, so the game, that's so silly. So the game is not properly uploaded, so. Okay, so we will go back to the game. So, dang it, this kind of sucks, but that's okay. So, when you're thinking about Oranos and Gaia on this map, I think Gaia has the benefit here. Normally, Oranos is pretty much better than Gaia in most every map, but this is kind of one of the maps where I think Gaia is better because Gaia can use Gaia Forest on his home base and then not have to transfer villagers so early to the mainland. Whereas Shelty, you can see how few trees he has on his island is he'll have to move his villies over to the island sooner than Domantas will. So like for 30 seconds, Shelty will not be chopping wood that Domantas will be able to chop. And that will hopefully allow Domantas to like get an advantage, either if it be on the water or if it be on the land with like a land army. The other cool thing about this map is there's kind of a fine line between how hard do you fight water versus how hard do you fight land. Like if you just completely ignore the water, you'll get pushed off of water and then you won't have much of an economy. Whereas if you fight way too hard on water and ignore the mainland long enough, then even if you win the water and have a better eco, if you can't like fortify yourself on the mainland, you're gonna be gold blocked and gold starved and also wood starved. To the point where you won't ever be able to like retake the map or the mainland. So it's all, and also the other cool thing about this game or this map is that it's not played very often because it's a non-standard map, and we see how Shelty at 3 minutes and 40 seconds is being forced to ship vills to the mainland. Whereas Domantas can probably keep his vills on his base for like 10 minutes and just try to win water. But we'll see. We'll see what he does. Domantas will also get. I would assume he'd go up with Carnivora, or what is that? Oceanus, which gives him the Carnivora, which is pretty good on the water. Also gives him the Calagia, which can heal units. We also see that there are these little wild Ulsarks on the map that will like pound down your units. So this Oracle here is getting slaughtered by the Ulsarks, the Gaia Ulsarks. Do I have a favorite map? Asked Blossom Goose in the chat. And Shelty's actually first to age up, it looks like, right at 425. And no, actually, Domantas is aged up as well. So they probably aged up about the same point. But my favorite map is Marsh. I like Marsh. Just a pretty aggressive high hunt map. Not too defensive, so you typically get some pretty nice games on that map, or at least ones that aren't like really boring. So Domantas did age up with Oceanus. He has that little servant, which is a pretty sucky myth unit overall, but I guess it's a unit that can at least tank some damage. It does actually, it can heal as well, but its heal rate is like really slow, so it's pretty poor. Domantas has pretty good fish, is what I'm looking at there. And Shelty, no type of landing yet or anything from Domantas. That's pretty much what I thought would happen. Looking randomly at these citizens is Blackadder. And it looks like both players are really valuing the water fight. And not a single one is, even Shelty I thought might maybe do like an early military building on the mainland, but he's not. And we're going to get a big fight here. I don't know if we'll see Carnivora. Actually, so far Domantas has the boat advantage, and that's because he didn't have to send his villies to the mainland. So in that time period when Shelty had to transfer his villies, he's losing out on villagers chopping wood. And oh, we have a landing on Domantas base. So Shelty is landing 3 Prometheans on the base, hoping just to annoy Domantas citizens, which the Prometheans can actually tank damage for a pretty long time. And we actually see that right now we've got pretty much 7 citizens, 8 actually, that were idle there for a little bit. And this one is going to die if Domantas doesn't react. Oh, garrison it right at the end. And now he might be careful. He might lose this other one, which is kind of awkwardly going around the trees, maybe. And we also see Shelty's warships on the minimap is moved right up next to Domantas's dock. And Domantas is going to lose that citizen. He did. Oh, he lost a citizen up there, the one that was almost dead earlier. And now we have a boat battle with Carnivore being used. We'll get an insta-kill on one and tank some damage. Don't know why Shelty is fighting that. Man, those Prometheans have caused some mayhem. And as soon as they kill one citizen, it becomes worth it. And they're still, you still see them just causing mayhem, absolute mayhem. And almost got that one, so there's almost another bill that's almost dead as well. And there's just one Promethean left, and he will harass that citizen, force them all idle. I don't know why that Calagia there is Domantas and it can heal. I don't know why he has it there and not healing. Got another fight on the water. And Domantas maybe has a slight boat advantage still. And yeah, he does. And oh, that Carnivore got another insta-kill on the boat there. So Shelty, with a little bit of mismanagement on his boat, ended up sailing one right next to that very mean and wicked plant. And got it killed right away. And he needs to watch out for these other boats. The Carnivore kind of have a sneaky long range, actually, that it can reach. And Domantas needs to target the low hit point boats here. There's a few that are almost dead already. We can see there's like 4 right now that are almost dead. And there's 2 down. And then again, he's still shooting at the wrong boats. But he is winning it. And it looks like the last Promethean did end up dying. And I don't think another citizen died. And despite all that harass, we see that Domantas is ahead in score. That's probably just because of not having to ship any citizens until now. And we did see that he dropped 3 off and is still making his boats. I wish he'd be using his Calagia to heal, though, because she has a really fast heal rate and is really good. It can really help. And we see them both just kind of sailing their boats right into each other. This should be a win for not Shelty, for Domantas. He also gets his Carnivore used with another insta-kill. And Shelty's still staying in this fight, and now he's moving away from the Carnivora. And it's actually turning out pretty even. And actually now Shelty is pushing Domantas back. I think maybe Domantas was kind of went a little bit too far in without firing, and that allowed Shelty to get some early attacks. So Shelty does win that and pushes Domantas off. Now Domantas is doing the same thing again. Look, he's just sailing right up, and look how idle his boats are when Shelty's are still shooting. And Shelty retreating, even though he does have a few kills there. And we have Domantas making land army. We got the barracks and counter barracks, so Mermillo Terma. And we've got Domantas as well. Just a counter barracks right now, and now making a barracks. And he's got some Skrylings on the left. Those little mean Olsarks are coming in and might cause a little bit of havoc. More of an annoyance than anything actually really important. They have like a 3 or 2 attack, so they don't do much. Can you time shift vills in a manner? No. No, you can't. And neither of these can time shift anyway. That's Kronos' special, not Gaia's or Oranos'. It's getting to that point in time where they might want to start considering getting a land town center. Domantas does have maybe a slightly bigger land army. And yeah, we only see 4 troops for Shelty right now. And Domantas has a little bit more, but now he's just retreating. I think he's taking a town center that he wants to defend. He also is fighting Shelty back on water and is defending. I think Domantas has slightly more fishing ships. I think looking like from the minimap that Domantas has 9 fishing ships, and I think Shelty only has 6. So just defending and not actually winning the water or like taking over the water isn't really a bad thing for Domantas because he has more fishing ships. So as long as the map or the match stays kind of even right now, it is slightly in Domantas's favor. And we got Shelty coming forward on the water, and in the mini map we saw the land army come forward, and now it's being pushed back as well. And it looks like Domantas also has the pretty strong ship numbers here. We have a shockwave being used, and now a carnivora. You do always want to put it in the back, just like Domantas did there. Gets the insta kill, and the carnivora will probably kill another one, yeah, and might get. Oh, the carnivora killed 3 boats there. That was a good carnivora use. The reason you want to put it in the back is because the only way that Shelty could sail to stay out of it would be forward, and that would mean he would be going right into the boats and taking fire while not shooting himself. So you always want to use the carnivore towards the back of the enemy navy. So that was a well-placed carnivore by Domantas. And with that fight, he wins the water, or is winning now, and he's also got the land advantage, and he has line of sight of this town center. What he should do here is clear out the terma that are there, and he's got a few. Though it looks like Shelty's got quite a. So yeah, the army will. Shelty, I didn't see he had another army up there, so that will push Domantas off. The one thing, though, when it comes to land battles, is that Shelty's units are 10% faster. And we got another boat fight here. Oh, if he can pick off that transport ship, that would hurt Shelty because Shelty would potentially have to make another boat to drop off units from his mainland. And we've got quite the boat battle down there, which looks like Domantas is retreating. And now we're going to have a land fight here, which seems pretty even just looking at the numbers. Probably Domantas's favor just because his reinforcements will get there sooner. Otherwise, it would be pretty even. And Domantas is building a tower and upgrading his tower. And right now, yeah, so far, pretty Shelty maybe just a slight bit more numbers going into it, but should eventually fall behind of the military production. I think Domantas needs to make another military building, though. But he does get his tower. The tower will solidify, and he's building a second one as well. So that is actually quite a few resources, though, when you consider that he's putting all those resources into a tower. I mean, that's 300 resources a tower, and then 300 more resources for the upgraded. So he threw 900 resources into these towers. He would have gotten so much more value out of just like maybe 2 more military buildings and making more units and then just winning that way. Not like the towers are a terrible thing, but I mean, when you think of 900 resources, probably better just to get full pop on his eco. And he does have 3 town centers, does Domantas now. And so he will have quite a huge pop advantage if he can get full pop. And he is pushing Shelty again kind of back on water. It looks like Domantas, when we checked some eco upgrades, he's got pretty good eco upgrades. He had the 3rd gold upgrade already and had a wood upgrade as well. And Domantas is just kind of going to continue to defend. And Shelty going very forward with his hunting villas there. My least favorite map? Probably Medit. Just because it tends to be just such a straightforward. Oh, that Vil hops like way into the tower, and I'm not sure why that mechanic is like that, but for some reason, Atlantean citizens can garrison like quite a bit away from the building, like further away than like normal units, and I don't know if it's because they have like a larger hitbox that they can like suck in faster. Like a normal Vil has to be pretty close, but the Atlantean citizen for some reason can like get in when it's not even really that close. So somehow with the way the garrisoning function works, it allows the citizen to kind of jump into the tower like that. A normal villager would have died there because it wouldn't have been able to get in, and it was only like 1 hit away from from death. And we've got Shelty trying to probably get us around on that citizen, and Blackadder, our streamer here that I'm watching, moves away. And we don't know if it looks like that citizen did die, but now we have a counter raid from Domantas. He gets one citizen, then moves forward. Nice to see that. And kills two citizens. So that's pretty rad. A two citizen for one trade, so yeah. No, it's kind of interesting. Shelty going up age 3 already. So Shelty not getting a second town or a third town center, instead aging up. But Domantas is getting quite a huge score lead. I think he's probably economically way ahead. I don't even know. Probably if Blackadder were to look, Shelty's probably upgrades are pretty poor. So we'll see. I mean, he's putting 1,300 resources into his earlier Hyperion. And actually, Domantas is already up as well. I did not notice. So Domantas is up with Thea, which gives him flying birds. And I don't know why Domantas is being so tentative with his boats. He has the boat advantage, and it has had it for quite a long time. And we have chaos used on the land, and that probably would have soon got the bird and then 4 units. But Domantas in the meantime is kind of chopping up Shelty's army on the navy or on the water pretty easily. And he's also winning on the land as well. Looks like Domantas is in a pretty strong driver's seat here, but his gold mine is down. Now, where is his second gold mine? There's one there. Okay, and we got one in the middle, and then there is one on the top that I can see on the mini map. Top left is one. Blackadder versus Kronos JJ for best streamer. Yeah. Oh, he's already got a village. Never mind. He's got villagers already gold mining, so it's no big deal. He'll probably just transfer those citizens to wood and then move some ones on the top up to that other gold mine. But no, when you watch other streamers casting, it's kind of cool to see. Oh, Domantas is up. It's like what they focus on as compared to me, or what I focus on. And I've noticed that me and Blackadder aren't necessarily too entirely different. I think I probably move around a lot more than Blackadder does. Blackadder likes to kind of stay at one spot for a little bit and then move later on. And I feel like I probably move around a whole lot more. We have the Tartarian gate being used there. And yeah, Domantas is way ahead in this game too. It's just the Gaia Eco is getting up. I mean, look at his economy upgrades. He's got all of them except for the third wood upgrade. Some don't watch the minimap, you're right. And some of them are more just pretty casual, that they aren't really trying super hard. And that is also happens as well. But yeah, I'd say that Domantas, he's quite a bit ahead. I mean, he's up age 4. He's got harassment on the water as well. And shots fired at Boyd. Nobody fired any shots at Boyd. And looks like Shelty's getting pushed back on land as well. And I don't know where his gold mines are, his second gold mine. But he's going to have a hard time even just killing that that Tartarian gate. I don't think he'll even be able to get it down. And Domantas should just try to find wherever Shelty's gold mine is. And yeah, I know that. We don't call it that. Well, maybe we do. Maybe some people refer. I don't think it's a common thing, but just I don't know, a troublemaker or just someone who more of stirs the pot is kind of maybe how we would maybe call it, but a drama queen kind of stuff like that. And Domantas has the upgraded siege ships as well, so he'll be able to kill, as long as he keeps those siege ships up, he'll be able to kill Shelty's original town center on the land there. And we have Shelty resigning. All right, so we can get off this very awkward streaming of the stream and update our scoreboard and load back up to the game. So Domantas wins game number 2. Just like that. And it's just on the basis of getting his eco upgrades better. I need to turn my stream live icon on. I forgot as well. And Nyan is wanting to know. Oops. It is stream live on. Alright, so we will get into, now we'll have the music and the sound effects, and we will get into game number 3. So far we've seen only a Atlantean being chosen, which is kind of unusual for these players. And we will get into game number 3. Now, was there a question in here that I didn't find? No, Voobly does not tell you how to turn that on. It's like in some sort of mystery location somewhere. I don't know where they say, but I don't know. It's just like word of mouth. And Duck Nugget is on the YouTubes, and we are going to go into game number 3, Summer Tournament. Game number 3 with a backslash is what you need. So stream live on /. And game number 3 is Erebus. Probably the ugliest map in the game. But here we are on Erebus with Shelty as Set and Domantas as Hades. And take a look at this hunt. So we have, you start with 5 boar, and there will be more boar scattered around the map. So we got more boar here, and there should be at least another pack. Yeah, there's another pack of 4 here, and then a third pack there. And so let's look like at Shelty. There's also a 2-pack of boar and 2 packs. So we've actually got 2 packs and 4 packs. And because these maps aren't standard, you can kind of see some goofy spawns. So 4, 4, 4, and actually it looks like maybe Shelty got one more 4-pack of boar, but that's okay, it's not huge. Another thing to note is that there are some shades on the map, and these shades will automatically attack any units that come, and then they kind of protect like a certain radius. I imagine, given that this is Hades versus Set, I imagine that this was Shelty's home map is my guess. It seems like it'd probably be a pretty solid Set map because of all the hunt, plus you can convert boars as well. But yeah, a bunch of boars. We've got this. I don't know why Shelty isn't protecting his priest with his hyena. So far, actually, Shelty hasn't even been able to convert anything yet, which isn't good. And we also have serpents as well that just kind of randomly show up on the map a little bit. And you're right, wood is not super plentiful on this map. Gold mines, we can see there's just gold mines scattered all out, as Mr. Redvan's SSS says in the chat. And each player gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Shelty. They are forward, though. Every time I say my name, what? You got all those extra S's, man. What am I supposed to say? I'm looking at snakes right now. Red Vans, SSS. Yeah, you get both. But when we talk about you can't make docks on the lava. Maybe you're just being goofy, but the lava cannot be docked. So all you got is just this big kind of mashup here in the middle. And Shelty does have a pretty forward town center, but he's set so he'll get map control anyway. And we have the priest up here converting some boar. As far as what we'll see in this game, I would imagine we'd see the pretty standard, yeah, the really ugly birds, pretty standard 2 town center set stuff. Probably get a Set taking this town center because it's got some glorious, just utterly glorious board just spawned right around it, along with the relic. What's the relic? Inventory of more hack armor. Okay, alright, it's okay, I guess. The other one is gold gathers faster. That's a solid relic, especially for the Egyptian, but probably will not be grabbed by the Egyptian. Shelty might also do, what is that map? This is, hey, Erebus, my man. The first time, I don't know if it might be no, I think it has been used in a tournament before. Because we've had free pick tournaments before, and I think people have picked Erebus, because I remember seeing it. But it's cool to see these maps. They get kind of a they get a bad. These non-standard maps get a bad rap, but I don't have a problem with them. I think they're cool. These serpents are going at this hyena. Are they gonna kill it? They're gonna kill it. Gonna kill it. Oh, they got it. Yes, the hyena is dead. And Shelty is so far only one conversion and was working on his second. And we've got the scout down here also getting punished by some more serpents. The Hades probably be trying to get a second town center as well. And we have Shelty with the vision. See if he'll be doing a forward shift. It looks like he's just doing a vision just to see what's going on. Because if he's trying to do a shift, he did it too soon. And he might not even, if he wants to, even do any sort of shift. Is he trying to? No, that was just to scare Domantas. And Shelty is grabbing this forward town center with a very fast advance, but having all these boar right next to your town center makes that happen. And let's see where Domantas is for his age up. Aged up at 100% now. So what the vision did do, though, it forced Domantas to use his sentinel. Which he shouldn't have done. Really, you should wait to use Sentinel until after you see the shift being used. So now he's blue Sentinel on his main town center, where maybe he would end up wanting it here later on and using it on this one potentially. Not that Sentinel are really that great. What do they got? Like 12 attack, and their aim is kind of questionable at best. So Domantas is grabbing a town center, maybe this one. Yo, hey, what's up, Zebchi? So also what I'm looking at, and when it comes to just map spawn, is that Domantas's town centers, he doesn't have any sort of glorious boar spawn around a town center like Shelty does. Like Shelty is going to be able to comfortably age up to age 3 just based off of all of this. And there's like really nothing that Domantas will do. And overall, I don't think that Hades is a good choice into Set anyway. I think Set is a pretty decent counter to Hades. I mean, Set is kind of a counter to most gods right now, just because most gods can't really pressure Set enough early on, and the Hades can. And I don't know. I would assume Set Shelty probably picked the map, then his god, and then Domantas would have selected his. So he should have been able to like maybe get a slightly better one, but maybe he's just kind of assuming that he's going to lose this anyway. So if he loses and doesn't pick his best god, no big deal. But Domantas does play quite a bit of Hades. So, and do remember, there are no repeat god picks, and he loses a villager here that I'm watching. And he gets a second town center, but that's a very late second town center. It's 620 late. And the reason for just being late is because he's just so scared of getting shifted on that he kind of has to wait to get his heroes out before he can send his vills forward. And that boar very intelligently picking out that citizen, or that vill. This vill count seems low, maybe. Right now he's just got a lot of idols, which is making it seem lower than what they really are. But what's he got? 8, 14, 19, 20, 21, and we've got 13, 19, 21, 22. Oh, he is way behind. Shelty has like 30. And Domantas does not have nearly that many. So yeah, I think, but okay, another reason for that is because of the training of the heroes. You're getting idle town center time, so that just might be it. There is, these heroes do take some time to train. And he can merc, you're right. And that's the benefit that Egyptian has if they're able to get their forward town center, is then they can just spawn mercenaries. So like if there's a fight here, he can mercenary. If there's a fight here, he can mercenary. And that's kind of, kind of almost the risk and reward factor. Not so much for Set, who gets map control, but like say for Ra, for example, who struggles with map control. If he has a forward town center, it can be hard to get it, but if he does get it, then you can just mercenary and like protect everywhere that's forward, or even attack with them. And Shelty has actually moved his villies over here. To the point where, Domantas doesn't know they're there. Yeah, this is, because he's set, this is a great placement for him. Because there's no way that Hades could prevent this town center. And getting it pretty much protects Shelty's entire side of the map. I mean, Shelty, all he really has to do is kind of wall here and here, and if Domantas wants to get it over here at all, he's got to go right through. And Shelty, despite getting a second town center, is up at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Very fast, and that's just due to all of the boar everywhere. And Domantas is now coming forward, correctly assuming that Amygdala is coming. But Domantas isn't going to be able to prevent this. He might maybe kill like the Scorpion Man here. Maybe? Nope. Probably not. And yeah, it doesn't even kill the Scorpion Man, so Domantas just way behind, and this is Shelty found a very good set map. You start with four or five boar right next to your town center, and then he got lucky and got like 4 more boar right next to this town center, so I'd say just from map spawn would have been almost impossible for Domantas to win. Because, I mean, he's just so far behind. I mean, Domantas trying to grab 3 town centers, but the relics were, this one gets gold mined faster and the other one gives infantry more hack armor. So not terrible relics, but nothing that's going to like save the game. The other bad thing too for Domantas is a lot of his hunt spawned way up here, and that's just a long way to go just to come up here for his hunt. And Shelty still hunting from here. He also gets his free hunt spawns from aging up, so then they can just eat the giraffes as well. Shelty getting his initial army coming. Needs to watch out. He's just kind of tanking, and Minotaur tosses the elephant aside. Really shouldn't be shooting at the elephant with all of his archers. Should be aiming for the chariots too, because the chariots do more damage. And I don't know if the restoration there is worth it. I mean, I guess it allows him to win this initial fight, but you kind of would rather save your restoration for when you really, really need it, like the push on the town center. And Shelty still has ancestors as well, because yeah, I don't know. I feel like saving the restoration for a bigger fight would have been more helpful. But Domantas could probably need like 3 or 4 restorations to be able to survive. And he's not Atlantean, so he doesn't get recharged god powers. Yeah, Domantas, what's he got? Not much eco at all. He's got okay economic upgrades. He did get the infantry trained faster, so there's actually 4 relics? God send more favor. Okay. I only looked at 2, and I guess there's 4 relics. So infantry trained faster is another relic, but he's not even making infantry. And Shelty's got a pretty nice army here, and whenever he needs it, he can just do ancestors. And kind of surprised Domantas didn't block this off a little bit more. Shelty plays a lot of set now, to the point where maybe you could say he's his main god in a way, at least as far as tournaments. I would say Loki is still his main god, but we still play quite a bit of set, because set is kind of one of those gods that it's more of just a build. You don't really need like good play. And this is where I would like to have seen the restoration be saved for, is when it comes to this push on the town center, where not only does he have his army fighting, but he also is trying to get the towers down with villies. And like if he has restoration now, he'd definitely be able to hold this pretty well. And we have a shifting sands. Oh, that is a solid shift. 10 units plus the hero. Man. Youch. And that's a lot of... That was pretty much all of Domantas' firepower right there. It was all of the archers. And yeah, now Domantas just has no army at all. He's down 3 to 2 town centers now, down economically. It was GG a while ago. I mean, really, and now it's GG for reals now. Really, when you look at that game, it was basically GG from the spawn, unfortunately. So GG. Game 3 goes to Shelty. Let's take a look at our post game. We're finally resigned. And you can see once the Egyptian, who is supposed to be behind in economy, is ahead of in economy or matched up, then you know things are looking pretty grim. Villager count, Shelty just quite a bit ahead. Even with aging up, he's still way ahead as well. And military, it's slightly, but yeah, that's a tough map to beat us set in. Wow, good luck. So game number 4. What I'm going to do here. I don't know what he's meaning by that question. Is I'm going to put up our little bit of our overlay. I'm going to update our god choices as I normally do. Summer overlay. Here we go. Hey, what's up, guys? Why is my camera way over there? Man. So what do we got so far? So far in our matches, Hades can't even win on Erebus. Yeah, you'd think there should be. So what you can do, it's actually kind of cool, is like for map scripts, you can put additional technologies in, like to say research this technology. So you should make like a additional technology so that like Hades units all like are super strong in on Erebus, something like that. It'd be a good way for me as like the Voobly patch creator to cheat. Like knowing that on Medit these units are stronger or something like that. But it's too bad I'm such a nice guy. What do we got? We had Oranos. We had a lot of Atlanteans. And we had a bunch of Kronoses as well. Kronos, Oranos, and our Set. Alright, so Set versus Hades there. Game 2 on our end was Oranos via Oranos. Game 1 was Loki, or not Loki, Kronos. Oh, no, game 2 was Oranos Gaia. That is correct. So let's get our wins up here so we can have this looking nice and pretty for you guys. And where is that? There it is, win text. And then copy, paste, and we are set. They need bridges over the water. That would be cool. Like, there's so many cool things that when you're thinking about could be like added into the game. But oh well. So game number 4 is right here. And we got that ready to go. And this is still a best of 5 in the round of 8. So Shelty wins, he moves on. Domantas needs to win these 2 last games. I would assume that game 4 will be on Domantas's map. So I kind of watched them out of order. The second game was technically Medit, but I watched them out of order on my stream. So we went with Medit game 1, Vinlandsaga game 2, game 3 Erebus, and now we will move on to game number 4. And here we go to game number 4. So Ra v Loki on Alfheim. Okay, this is a cool matchup for Alfheim. So, our Ra player is, we're not actually looking at him right now, our Ra player is Domantas, and he is in blue. And our Loki player is Shelty. So this is Shelty's historically his main god is Loki. And we have Domantas on the bottom in Ra. So definitely Domantas picked this map because this map is usually pretty solid for Ra. Just with how many cliffs and forests there are, it tends to be pretty defensive. The gold mines are also it's Alfheim, there's a lot of gold mines and they don't tend to be too far away. For example, we have this gold mine here, which is pretty close. We also have Some close gold mines next to this town center, so definitely Domantas will want to grab this town center pretty quick. I will say, though, when it comes to Ra versus Loki, it's all about that second gold mine. That's generally what the games go down to, and Loki is one of those gods that can really put a lot of pressure on Ra's transition to the second gold mine. So even though this gold mine is really safe, the Loki could put some pretty solid pressure on it with kind of a semi-quick, fast heroic with the flaming weapons. But in order to do that, the Loki player needs quite a bit of hunt to be able to keep up Herseer production and then also aging up, getting that 800 food. And I'm looking at the hunt, and Alfheim is one of those weird maps where you can actually have pretty high amounts of hunt, although it typically moves down to the lower end of hunt. And this is kind of towards the medium for Alfheim. Actually decent amount of hunts, but the one hard thing about it is like none of these hunting spots have like a ton of hunt in one place, so there also isn't really a very nice second hunt for Shelty to go to. I guess he could transition up to here, but then there's not really a good third one for him to go to unless he wants to come all the way down here to Domantas side of the map, which he can. But when you're Loki on this map, you really want to see the Auroch spawns instead of the Auroch would spawn instead of either one of these. I'm not sure which one can be Auroch, or I think it's Auroch or Elk is your can be your second/third hunt, and we got the Elk instead of the Auroch, so that hurts because you could have as much as 3 Aurochs in one place, which is 1200 food. So what we'll probably see from our Loki, I'm really surprised to see Domantas coming up here. Did he get hunting dogs? Dang it, he did. I really dislike seeing on this map the Ra getting hunting dogs. I feel like you can age up faster just getting husbandry and then just staying in your base and getting your chicken berry, because all you really want to do is just do a 2-town center fast heroic. And getting hunting dogs, especially on a map that doesn't have a ton of hunt, you're spending 200 resources, so your hunting needs to refund 200 resources. And I just don't think on this map you get that 200 resource refund. He's also killing every single elk that he could almost, which makes them decay. There is a decay in Age of Mythology. It's not super fast, but dead animals do decay. I don't know the exact rate. But like, there's no reason for these vills to be coming all the way up here, because he should be farming in Age 2, and this is a long way to walk just to probably get pushed off by some early Herseer. And Shelty did go to this hunt. I guess one thing, though, that Domantas does do, which kind of annoyingly, by eating this hunt, he will prevent Shelty from coming over here. So when Shelty goes to find his next hunt, he's going to have to move all the way across the map. That's a long way to go. Relics. Boots of Kick Everything is the first relic I look at. Oh my goodness. Herseers move faster. No, it's not better to separate your vills because of the decay, so there's less food to gather. Now, you don't want to cram like all 6 on one elk, though, because the decay, or the saving of the decay, will be counteracted by the villagers bonking off of each other. Like, 3 is okay, though you could even like target these a little bit better and like get them in between the elk and the granary. But he's having to move back with this early harassment, and I mean, he didn't even need to move that early either, but he did. And we did see it. Shelty put down the spy on that villager. And will Domantas just do a 1-town center? I would like to see as a set, maybe, or not set, as a Ra aging up, maybe slightly faster than what he is, a 5-minute advance probably. But this is a well-protected side of his base, though. He just wants to be careful, maybe not to chop a hole there. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I usually talk about it of using spy on villagers because you generally know what's going on. I mean, Shelty having line of sight of this isn't huge because he should know what's going to happen anyway. Is that Domantas will take this town center, and then Domantas is going to chop wood here and chop gold here and gather food here. So the spy really doesn't give him much. But Shelty did come down here and push those two vills off of Hunt, and sending them here and then sending them back, not worth it. He would have gathered more food just keeping them in his base, and that's why I didn't like those vills going forward. And so Shelty is coming up here to this Hunt, which is kind of almost gone. So that's also, like I said, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Domantas hunting, but by hunting, he did kind of starve Shelty of a little bit of the hunt on the map. Though Shelty will probably end up coming here. And, oh, will he get this wall in? Surround the Ville, you can kill it. Oh, there. Okay, well, you'll probably kill it anyway. And yeah, that Ville has kind of walked himself into a corner. He's screwed. Did Shelty get? Oh, he did. All right, he did get the boots to kick everything relic, which is so good for Loki. Oh, that's what you mean. Shelty has the boots. Yes, he does have the boots. And now coming to this Hunt. However, one thing I'm seeing from Shelty is that with the way his Hunt is, he's going to have a hard time getting up to heroic at a quick time. Because once they're done with this Hunt, where in the world are they going to go for their Hunt? Like way over here. That's a lot of walking time. If you don't spy on a Ville, where do you use it? You kind of save it until when the enemy has an army. That's especially in like team games. That's the best thing to do. If like say you're in a team game 3v3 and one of the opponents is a Loki, you spy his Herseer so that everybody knows where that army is. I don't think you get a lot of benefit out of just this villager. I think you get it more so later on, maybe you using it on like the forward here so that you can kind of see when units are coming and going, like because eventually you'll see a Migdal here and then chariots coming out for raids, and like if you can get line of sight of this or even maybe do it on a chariot, you'll see where exactly those raids are coming in. And Domantas is also very slow to do his rain. This is a slow rain because he's a little bit worried about the Herseer pressure. And that iron jar, and also the 4-pack of walls around the towers doesn't necessarily help a whole lot. So now we see, do not forget plow. Okay, he's getting plow. Now we see him transitioning to the farms. He's got a few axemen just to keep the Herseer away. Shelty has a pretty nice army. He is building another longhouse. Is almost done with his Hunt there. And wow, I'm surprised that I guess he has a lot of cows. Yeah, the Herseer speed with this Hall of Thanes and the boots and kicks everything gets all the way up to 6.14 from 4.2. Pretty quick. So Shelty is actually going to be able to age up faster than I thought, but he's going to kind of age up and then probably at that point not have a ton of resources to put into his Herseer, to the point where it might be really hard for him to push in on this gold mine. And if he doesn't push in on this gold mine, it probably ends up being a loss for the Loki. That's Loki's way to win versus Ra. Oh, you mean this village? It is kind of a nice little village. But definitely with the forward build, Shelty is putting everything into the push here. Kind of surprised he isn't with his fast Herseer, like doing a little bit more of harass and stuff. Like he could just kind of run in and just kind of keep Domantas busy and stuff. But he's not. And what kind of... Domantas is getting pretty good food. Domantas not up yet either. Now we have Shelty coming in. He probably shouldn't be fighting this though. this close, he's going to take a lot of damage on his units and not get a lot of value out of it. Like, sure, he's killing units, but he's also taking quite a bit of damage, and when you come to flaming weapons, you want to have strong units. And Shelty's still in a good spot, though. I mean, the flaming weapons push is so strong. We got a tower being built. Yep. Domantas with a very slow advance. This is incredibly slow for a raw 2-town center. Even with a little bit of barracks, it was not the most efficient of advances. He should also consider walling this. Wall. Oh, you're right. He does have the healing spring here. It looks like he is healing them. So not a big deal as long as he's taking it. And this is nice putting in the towers. Towers actually are really strong. But he needs to consider putting in the walls here, though. Yeah, the raiding cavalry have 6 speed, and the Hersier with the relic have 6.14. So the Hersiers are actually faster. And now we have up with Hathor. And Shelty will try to do as much damage as he can before using flaming weapons. But I feel like he needed to use flaming weapons at that fight if he wanted to win. I think once the Migdal comes up, he won't have enough damage. He's probably popped too, actually. Yeah, he is. And now we have flaming weapons. And I think it's a little too late. I got 2... I mean, this is such a strong defensive position. 2 towers, a Migdal, and a town center. And like so far, these units are all doing a lot of chasing and haven't actually done a ton of damage. So, doing some work. Loki push is always working. Oh, the shift. That's a big shift. That is 8, 9, 10, 11 units shifted. And that completely ends the pressure there. And now he's got to run his units back, which he is slowly. I mean, the point, you might as well not split your army because there's only so many units that can shift anyway. And now we have the flaming weapons done. And there's just not enough damage here. He needed to push before the Migdal got up. I think it was just a slight bit of a timing issue for Shelty that he needed to. Couldn't wait because I think he was already at his 115 pop when he first kind of came in and then went back. Getting that Migdal up is just such a strong building, and then you also get kind of access to chariots, which I don't know if he ever really made any chariots, but he could have. Now all is not lost. That did kill quite a few of Domantas' units, but the problem is Domantas is at 2 town centers and Shelty at just 1. And it's not like Shelty could hope to prevent Domantas' 3rd gold mine because it's right here. And that's going to be a tough one to keep control of, is that 3rd gold mine. And Domantas building another. I'm kind of surprised he's building so much of these defensive buildings and not like even just putting a little bit of walls here. And Shelty is... Yeah, the Loki Fast Mythic is also okay, where you like combine the Fimbulwinter along with the flaming weapons. I think the problem here, though, is with where the food ended up being, is that he didn't have the hunt that he needed. The Pharaoh block, that's a lot of work just to block the Pharaoh, but you get value out of that. Now, yeah, you'll kill him. So, oh, he got him. Alrighty. So it does kill the Pharaoh, and now because this part is so oh, we got the Locust. Okay, get some value out of that. Kills 4 Vills, and those will probably end up dying too. I'm not really sure why Shelty kind of kept his Villies there. Yeah, the Loki, even with that push, not a bad push, but without winning or close to winning on the gold mine, he's behind economically because he's only been at one town center for so long, and there's really not a lot of places for him to even push. And now he lost like 5 more Villies there. He is grabbing a town center. He's still pretty close in pop. And I'm kind of surprised he never like made another ox cart to come down and hunt. Because hunt is, with hunting dogs, that's 33 or 30% faster than its base, and hunt is a lot faster than berries anyway. Well, a little bit faster than berries anyway, but with the 30%, it's a lot faster. But Shelty should not be pushing here. That's just too defensive. Really, what Shelty should maybe be doing is just kind of run around and maybe just getting this kind of stuff idle. And he has line of sight. He knows all these Vills are here. He also sees these Vills coming somewhere. Oh no, they're all at the wood here. So yeah, I'm not sure why Shelty is just focusing so much on this spot. Like, even if he just comes up here and just kind of causes these to go idle and doesn't really kill them, I mean, he could still slow down the economy. And yeah, once the fortified town center comes in, this just is not going to happen here. We see him, not a bad turn there. With the throwing axeman, could probably get a lot of the military units though. But I think as this fight extends, it's just not a good fight for him. Because the mercenaries, especially once you see the mercenaries coming out of the town center, he needs to retreat. Like, if you can force the mercenaries and then retreat, that's a lot of gold that he's kind of wasting. But Shelty fought that way too long, and we can see going into that battle he was about 200 points ahead, and just with the unit loss and everything, that changes. And now we have that gold mine running out to now coming to this gold mine. And yet could have maybe built a hill fort. I don't know if you would have gotten a ton of benefit out of that. I mean, that would be 600 resources, but Shelty probably should have waited to fight once the Vills were coming maybe, or just not fought so long there. Because it started off pretty decent with that initial turn with the throwing axemen shooting at all the infantry, but once the mercs came out and the raiding cavalry were dying here, you needed to fall back. And even still, just really, Shelty really going all in on just the gold block. And he's quite a bit behind just on pop now. What is that? Ooh, this is a solid Migdal placement, actually. It's basically a wall that your units can go through. I like it. Because then you can just hop them back and forth. I like that. That's cute. I get the... Okay, now he's going to his hunt. What kind of eco upgrades? Just the standard. Standard Loki nonsense. And we got a lot of priests. They do tank. These Thors even do tank quite a bit. Because Ra priests don't necessarily have a lot of attack. But there's just too many units here for the Ra. And now we have the mercenary cavalry coming in. And Shelty pushed back again, and just as the game goes on, it's just harder and harder. And we even look at some pretty nice eco upgrades for the Villies too. Yeah, he is kind of going all in on the gold block, which, watching the recorded game, it was pretty obvious once that initial push didn't work that that was never going to work. So yeah, he should have just abandon this effort and then come over here, because there's some damage that he could do on this side. And in fact, really, the initial town center is actually more vulnerable than this one at this point. But you know, watching the recorded game, it's easy to see that. But whatever. Shelty not good on pop wise. And Domantas pretty solid. Domantas really doesn't even need to get his next town center right now. Can you patch it so Medjay shows up when you click the Merc? You know, probably. Actually, I don't know why nobody's ever mentioned that to me before. I don't. It wouldn't cause any sort of recorded game instabilities either, because all it is just a display thing. I will take a look and see. I think probably yes. And now we're kind of reaching the point where the Ra probably should just age up to Mythic. And yeah, he's already 50% up. And he's got upgraded chariots. Do we have at least Pierce Armor? Oh, see, he never even got the Pierce Armor upgrades, and that hurts as well. Pierce Armor is kind of the first thing you want to get when you're facing off against an Egyptian, especially a Ra who will make a ton of chariots. Shelty will get this town center, but once old Mr. Osiris comes out and starts just wrecking everything, Shelty's pretty much done. Even though he's got, you know, the map control, but that's kind of... Once Ra doesn't need map control as long as Ra has gold, and Ra's got plenty of gold. As far as Alfheim goes, this did spawn a pretty favorable Domantas map, though Domantas is kind of losing his chariots here, not getting a lot of value out of them. And now Mr. Osiris shows up right here, and Shelty's kind of pseudo forward base is getting demolished. And Shelty is up with Hell. It was a pretty quick advance. Hell for the fire giants. Though the Son of Osiris and the Mummy that you start off with are a pretty solid counter to that. Nice walling here. I expect to see some catapults. And then he'll just be able to catapult this town center down. And yeah, he's got this entire corner of the map walled off, so as soon as Domantas gets rid of a few units, he'll have his catapult popping out. And there it is. Yeah, he deleted his siege tower. Now the catapult comes out, probably even maybe upgrade the walls. And Nidhogg being used to get on. Look at Son of Osiris here doing some sort of smooth move. Look at him. The Son of Osiris got the moves. Oh, yeah, Ra's got gold and market. There's not a whole lot that the Loki can do at this point. Yeah, you see that from time to time. The attack that the Osiris has can kind of bug a little bit, where he can actually move at times while still shooting. It's kind of a similar attack animation to the Petsuchos. Also is why they also get bugged when they will just start standing there and not shooting. It's kind of related to that as well. Nidhogg, they're roasting a few villagers, but Shelty, well, he will be able to defend this. The Nidhogg up here kind of lured the Son of Osiris away, allowing this, and the Mummy will get an insta-kill on one of these boar. Selects the full hit point ones, but the rest of them are going to die. And oh, the raiding cavalry coming in for the surround. Oh, deletes the nice deletion. Still gets a bit of a surround there. I don't think he's got enough to kill this guy, though. Yeah, no, not quite able to. Shelty actually is kind of narrowed this game a little bit. Where the Domantas didn't get much value out of all of his raiding chariots, and it seemed like they kind of died without doing much. And now we've got 3 mercenaries, 4 that just won't be doing anything. But I would have liked to seen these walls get upgraded. That wall upgrade is really strong. It doubles the hit points, which when you consider the hack, you get 44% hack armor. It's more than just the, 600 hit points. It's a lot more than that. And Mr. VV Pro is followed. Welcome, welcome. Now the mercenaries come. And Shelty will have a hard time holding this. Nidhogg's still pretty strong. Domantas popped or something? He's at full pop. I think he's got quite a trade route already. It would be nice to see him maybe empower that. And almost at this point, yeah, here comes Mr. Sunny. Sunny of Osiris going forward to finish off the poor Nidhogg. And then he died way back there. Oh, the mummy. The instant kill on the mummy. And we're now at the point where Shelty is going to have to put just so much more resources into defending this. Because the 120 gold mercenaries now aren't very expensive for the Ra, who's got the full trade route going. But yeah, that's a ton of... And now he's even got the towers here as well. Retreating the mercenaries. And I would assume he does have Med J. It's not showing up, but he does have it. That allows him to live even longer. Man, I hate mercenaries. Such a plague to this game. It's just the mercenaries when you... they're just such a broken concept. On paper, it maybe seems like a good idea, yeah, and even thematically, the Egyptians fought with a lot of mercenaries. This mummy coming in to get on that giant. But now that we see this town center go down, that's kind of the only chance Shelty had at winning was like somehow miraculously keeping this town center up, but he didn't. So he's probably, his eco is also a little bit better, I guess, than earlier. But Domantas' eco, yeah, pretty. In fact, he's got every eco upgrade, it looks like. Yep, every eco upgrade. His trade route, maybe not the greatest. They're getting a little bit detoured by these berries and such. But what does he get? 67 gold? Yeah, that's pretty solid. And the dog getting some value. He's got like 51 hit points left, so still doing something. There we go. Alright. Domantas has recognized it. Yeah, that's kind of a cool little wall. And Nidhogg will fly into his death. And down he goes. And yeah, it just... against Osiris, you don't really get a whole lot of benefit from the Nidhogg. This guy just kills it too easily. And with Alfheim, with all the choke points, I would assume that Domantas would protect his catapults a little bit better than what he's doing. You know, you can just put a wall in here and you can get freely at that town center as well. But, I mean, at this point he's quite a bit ahead. Nice to see the mummies insta-killing everything. And Son of Osiris with these raiding cavalry that really aren't upgraded much at all. They die pretty quickly. And all Shelty has left are just these two fire giants. So, was it patched so that TC's Mignols get bonus damage to flying units? I don't believe so. I don't think towers get bonus damage versus flying units either. I'd have to look at data files and see, but I don't think they do. I think it's just base damage. Oh, they do. Huh. I never knew that. But that is GG. So we're going to a game 5. That is cool. I love me some game 5. So 2-2. And Shelty did use his Loki. It's one of his pretty more solid gods. And Domantas, I don't know if he's maybe saving Zeus for the end. Maybe an Oranos. I can look and see, actually, real quick. I wouldn't say Shelty played badly. There was things he could have done better. But when the map was... I mean, even as far as Alfheims go, this was a pretty juicy raw map. Just where these two gold mines spawn. This was about as solid of an Alfheim map that you could get. Also was benefited that it wasn't a high hunt Alfheim either without the Auroch spawn. That also slows the Loki down. So you can see, you know, it's pretty standard. The Loki kind of... this is where Loki needs to kind of do the big power spike, and he just didn't get that power spike. And that allowed the Ara to solidify, and then later on, it couldn't. Yeah, you're right though. Ippert went through the patch stuff with like a very fine-toothed comb and found some stuff that was wrong, which is very helpful. But okay, so let's update our gods here. And we will look at, so we've got Loki used and Ra used. So Ra for Domantas and Loki for Shelty. And we're looking at, so what gods are we going to see for this last game? Shelty still got some Norse, but there's some maps that Norse are pretty iffy on. He does also have Ra that he can use, and Ra is pretty solid on most maps. Domantas maybe saving like a Zeus, or probably more so a Zeus or an Oranos for the last game. And then we get in a little bit of RNG because the last game is a random. So what exactly we're going to see with that random, we don't know. Let me check real quick here, actually. And just because we had a question in the chat, do towers get bonuses versus flying units? So let's check and see quick here. I'll just load up my files, and what are we looking at? What are we looking at? What are we looking at? I need to clean my, I'd say that like every stream I need to clean my desktop because I can't ever find anything. Oh, I'm not on my desktop. Data, where? Oh my goodness, I'm struggling here, guys. All right, well, whatever. We'll just go through desktop, computer. I wonder what the reason was if they did give towers. I don't know if it was something in the original or if they added it with the Titans. What am I looking at here? Microsoft Games. Age Mythology. Data. Alrighty, so let's see. Norse to do something against birds. Maybe that's it. Alright. Let's take a look. No, I don't want to upload that. So, what is it? A sentry tower? Is that what the name of it is? Tower. Alright, so it gets the ranged attack. It gets a damage bonus versus the ship, 6. Damage bonus versus flying unit is 3. Okay, so maybe we can just check like the settlement and see if the settlement gets a damage bonus. So times 3 for towers. Damage bonus for settlements? No. And maybe just, I would assume if we look up like the Migdol, that would give us kind of the standard for all fortress type buildings. Do fortresses get damage bonuses versus flying units? No, so it is just towers. All right, so just towers. Get that damage bonus. All right, so we will go to a game near genius, as Moore would say. We will get to game number 5. So the finale of our series to move on to the semifinals. Wow, we'd already be in the semifinals. So I'm thinking maybe a Zeus for Domantas and maybe like a Ra or potentially like a Thor or Odin for Shelty. So game number 5. This is it. Game number 5. The winner moves on. The loser goes home. Game number 5. Shelty versus Domantas on Watering Hole. We got Thor versus Poseidon. So Domantas is Poseidon and Shelty in the blue is Thor. Thor versus Poseidon, and Domantas on the bottom is our Poseidon player on Watering Hole. I feel like of all maps in a Thor v Poseidon map, I would think the Watering Hole is pretty good for the Thor. Pretty good. The Thor could really benefit from all the hunt, more so than the Poseidon. Like the lure on this map is not nearly as good because there's hunt everywhere anyway. Looking at the hunt, there's always a lot on Watering Hole. I don't know where this filly is going. Okay, right there. But we got hunt here, 2 hippo. And then there should be some elephants somewhere. Okay, here are Domantas' elephants, and Shelty's elephants are actually a lot closer. Wow, that's about as close of an elephant as you'll get. So nice elephants for Shelty. And then he's also got his hippos down here as well. Now, I'm an honest guy, and when it comes to Thor vs Poseidon matchups, not too experienced in it. I'm not really sure what to see. One relic is more hit points for buildings, and the other one is increases house or manor hit points. Do they do blind pick on the last map? I don't know if they do, but they probably should. I think it would be best if they did blind pick, but I don't think that's written into the rules, but maybe they do. I don't know. It's hard to know for sure because I'm not there live. In the middle, we've got kind of a weak gazelle spawn, but then we've got a strong 4 rhino spawn. What is that? 2,000 food, I think. I think a rhino is 500 food. But yeah, the gazelle spawn, not so strong. But we got, we'll have 4 rhino packs and then 4 gazelle packs in the middle. And in fact, we only have 3 rhino packs. There should be 4, but occasionally we will see it where a hunt spawn won't spawn. So 1 gazelle, 2 gazelle, 3 gazelle. Well, it's only 3 of each, it looks like. Maybe that's normal. I forget sometimes. I don't remember everything. I am not a weak gazelle, though I can run like a gazelle. But yeah, strategically, I'm not really sure what we'll see. I don't know. Like a Poseidon versus Thor, I think is a cool matchup because I feel like there's kind of a variety of different things that could happen here. They could end up doing maybe more defensive and doing town center stuff, or they could try to be more aggressive and doing like some gold starve things. Speaking of which, are the gold mines. Shelty has a very forward gold mine, and his back gold is pretty solid. He's got one right next to that town center, and so does the Poseidon as well. So, and then both town centers are really forward, pretty much towards the middle of the map. So overall, it looks like the map is pretty fair. Maybe slightly on Shelty's benefit because of how close his elephants are. Like it's doubtful that Domantas will ever get that. Yeah. I don't know if Ulfraids, I don't think we would see Ulfraids. I think it'd be more likely to do raiding cavalry. Raiding cavalry do okay versus Hippicon, but not in like head-to-head fights. It's more, you kind of, I mean, that's kind of the Greek v Norse thing, is that the Norse typically want to avoid straight-up full-pop head-to-head fights versus Greek, because the Greek better, stronger units will win. So you want to use your faster raiding cavalry as like a Thor to keep the Poseidon defensive. I don't know why Shelty is like spending so much time trying to kill that stupid scout. He's coming forward here. I think it's important to advance quickly. Shelty will be up at about 4:30, and Domantas is also up about 4:30. Domantas is getting Hermes. It's pretty standard. You could potentially see like an Ares rush, but it's a little bit of a risky thing, where if it doesn't work, you're kind of screwed. Going Hermes because then he gets ceasefire for the incoming flaming weapons, and ceasefire just such a solid god power. But I like this matchup. This is a nice matchup to end on. The scout does die. up with Freya. Domantas will want to get his hero out. And, oh, a forest fire will actually be pretty significant here because it'll also get these units idle as well. And, oh, trying to grab Domantas with the early town center grab. Not so sure about that because he's not getting much food. He does have his lure now, though, so he will be able to get food with his lure, but he's also getting villies pushed off of the main. Hunt forward, and okay, nice kind of villy block to potentially save this vill. And well, she's stupid and starts running, so she's going to die. If she would have just kept running, she would have been alive. So loses the vill, most of the HP of the Valkyrie done, but I feel like given the food distribution on this map, grabbing a second town center maybe a little bit optimistic for Domantas. I mean, he will get a little bit more hunt with his lure, but I feel like Shelty could punish that. And because what that second town center does do as well is it comfortably allows Shelty to hunt from the middle, so he doesn't have to worry about it. She forgot her handbag. Yeah, dropped her designer coach handbag and to go back and get it. Okay, getting nice. Oh, yeah, now it's gonna go down. Yeah, got over the 1,000. Yeah, this is also a pretty precarious hunt line, and actually this, or not hunt line, wood line. This is not a hunt at all, but it is pretty precarious. And yeah, we do see the raiding cavalry. So Shelty can kind of zoom around. Oh, he's gonna catch that vill too. All right, prevent that wall from coming up. And Shelty does have line of sight. I wonder if Domantas knows about those elephants. He does. That's probably why he was trying to wall that off. But yeah, grabbing that town center just it does protect the gold mine, but the more serious resource now is the food. So we'll see if he's able to use that second town center to his benefit or not. Shelty might end up doing like kind of a semi-quick fast heroic, maybe? Potentially? But he's definitely keeping up the aggression right now. And he doesn't have this side of the map scouted, so I think he's probably going to come down here next to see what's going on down there. Yeah, this Valkyrie's trying to catch up to these raiding cavalry. Oh, did he make another Valk? He did, so he might want to end up healing the one Valk with the other before it dies. And it needs to run back here. This is where all of Domantas' defense is. And Shelty, oh, he's going to end up right at the wood line. He is going to, if Domantas doesn't react or Shelty doesn't see, oh, just ran right. Oh, now he knows this gave Domantas plenty of time to react. And wow, that was a slow reaction. He's going to lose 2 vills and the storehouse. And that's it. But still 2 vills at a storehouse. Domantas with the extra time. Oh. Loses another villy. And another one. 4 vill raid. This is a nice raid. And now Domantas, it's almost kind of the point though where it's a game where like he might get wood starved. And another raid up here as well. And Domantas, without any walls, is finding himself just getting picked apart by these raids. Wow. With a Valkyrie in each group so that they have more line of sight. Yeah, your dog's trying to lead you to something. And Domantas trying to re-wall this up here. If you're going to take a town center, you kind of do want to get walls. And Domantas a little slow to build his walls. He's also going to lose 1 more villy. And Presatero, Irvan, whatever you said, maybe someone can throw it in Google Translate for me and give me a hand. And Shelty now grabbing a second and a third town center. That's a good thing for
very safe for him to do this with how many villagers Domantas lost. Shelty knows that Domantas is not going to put any sort of aggression anytime soon. So really at this point, Shelty could probably do a variety of different things and end up winning. For example, with all of the hunt that he has access to now with firm map control, he could potentially just do a 3-town center Ragnarok and win that way. Or he can just out-eco and do like a really big, strong, heroic push, something like that. But yeah, he's got full control of the map. Those early raids, even with Domantas getting those town center earlier. Oh, Shelty needs to watch out here. Does lose one Valk, and he's kind of running the wrong way. And it looks like he's trying to get his other units here too. And I like this from Shelty. This is nice, and these vills don't even notice what's going on. They're busy shooting this rhino while they're getting just massacred by the throwing X-Men and hearse here. And Shelty just needs to be careful not to lose. This isn't a fight he should take. Yeah, run away. He's taking him to see the elephants. Yeah, these are the elephants you will never be able to hunt. And now Shelty has quite a considerable army advantage here now that he's got both of his armies all lined up, and Domantas is going to have to retreat at the expense of quite a few units, and maybe could get us round in on these. You're not likely. Okay, he's going for the heroes. The heroes are really good to pick off too, because they're kind of expensive, but it's also taking away from town center training time if you kill them. But Hippolyta, she rushes away, lives to see another day. And this raid up here will pay off for Shelty. See what I did there, guys? Kind of weak, but we'll do that anyway. Okay, we got okay upgrades from Domantas, and we've got Shelty with maybe slightly less upgrades, but no big deal for him. And okay, getting around on this. Maybe not fight this for Shelty. Raiding cavalry and kind of big fights are a little bit paper thin, but there is no hero for this other Valk. Here comes the hero. Yeah, this is not a good fight for Shelty. He's losing a lot of units. This raiding cavalry kind of weak. Only 34% pierce armor. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why Shelty fought this. He lost all his army, and while yet Domantas lost his army too, Domantas really didn't have an army to begin with anyway. So like Domantas lost like 5 units, and Shelty lost like 20. So bad fight for Shelty, but he's still quite a bit ahead. But just a bad fight to take. But I mean, still with having a firm map control, I mean we see he's just hunting everywhere, and he's still got these 2 elephants to munch on, so that'll be tasty. Man, my smoothie is so good. Domantas coming to hunt from this very low value crane spawn here. It's almost not even worth it to hunt the crane spawn with how few food they have. And he's sending a lot of villies down here too. And Shelty coming in at this wall. What kind of smoothie? I'm really not sure. Oh, there's a hole in the wall anyway. Oh, man. No, my wife just throws all sorts of random crap into the blender and then calls it a smoothie. So I have no idea. I mean, it's, fruits, random stuff. Lots of vills dead here, though. This is a solid raid just because of the fail wall. They just chopped a little bit too far into this forest. You always have to be careful when you're walling and chopping around forests. And if it looks like there might be a hole, there probably is. Though these last few units are all going to get trapped here. Shelty should have ran away, and yeah, he's going to lose quite a few raiding cavalry and a Valkyrie to the point where this raid might not have been worth it for him anyway. But what are these vills doing out here? What the heck? Why? I don't even see like where they came from, but why are there vills here? But whatever, they're dead. And Domantas, because he doesn't have a old gate in that one, this foolish
Gaia has to run all the way around. So Shelty has taken a few poor fights that is kind of allowing Domantas a little bit back into the game. But let's take a look at Eco. Shelty, not a whole lot. Domantas does have a lot, but Shelty is aging up with Skady or Scotty. Oh, he sent them out the wall in. Maybe that is correct. Maybe he was trying to wall them in. That's a good point, Mr. Luke from YouTube. That is a good point. And oh, what in the world is he doing here? And they're kind of running the wrong way. They don't have a way out up here either. The wall was just finished. The double wall was finished. And give me just a second. I got an alarm going off in the background. My apologies. Okay, so Shelty's up Scotty. He is first to age up. Domantas might be aging up. Yeah, Aphrodite. Shelty losing a few more units here. And he's kind of going to have to do a little bit of dancing to get his raiding cavalry out. Domantas needs to push this. The Toxotes would strongly counter all these throwing axemen here. And oh, he does not have line of sight. He does. So he could pick off... What's he building? Oh, a market. Shelty is trying to age up pretty quick. What kind of armory upgrades? He's got hack armor and then the pierce... Or not the hack. He's got the attack upgrade and the hack armor. And Shelty, again, kind of taking a lot of damage on his units here. And the raiding cavalry are coming in, but they're almost all dead now. Might like to see a curse coming in, though. No, you don't really need curse for this. And the warboats on Watering Hole. I like this. That is cool. Shelty is aging up Balder, though. He is aging up Balder. So he's going to go for the Reg win, potentially. Domantas should just stay heroic, because he doesn't get much. He won't get much value out of a mythic. I hope he does not try to age up mythic. No, it doesn't look like it. But he's gonna have to defend. Domantas can win this. Yeah, he's looking a lot better because of the poor fights that Shelty took for so long. I think Domantas maybe should be using curse here pretty quick, because he's not going to get much value out of the curse, because curse doesn't change, doesn't affect the reg. But now we have Domantas also building warboats. We're seeing a very rare boat battle on Watering Hole. I like it. I mean, I guess boat battles do happen, but not generally become from arrow ships. We're turning this into a Medit. I like it. Yeah, I feel like maybe Domantas should have kept the pressure up there, used a curse. But Shelty, probably economically, is just so far ahead. Now we do have him up with Balder. No flaming weapons, but he does have Frost. Just use Curse now, my man. Curse this army, because you don't want to take losses. Okay, man, that's a strong curse, too. You could use Hippolyta, though, or, what is the third? What's the third one that Poseidon gets? What's her name? He needs her to kind of run around and get at these fire giant or frost giants. Yeah, not an instant reg. I think Shelty is probably trying to get like to a full pop, so he is just at full pop. Maybe get a few more armory upgrades as well. No, he's not getting any armory upgrades. Domantas needs to... Atlanta, you're right. Domantas needs to get his... Look at both of you guys helping me out. Atlanta. But Domantas needs to get his building upgrades. Fortified and masons / architects. And he's really hurting because he does not have much pop room. He needs the heroes, because this is kind of mostly a myth unit army at this point. And one hero isn't quite enough, and Hippolyta getting in boat range also isn't exactly helpful. She's gonna die kind of right away. Yeah, dead right now. And oh, upgraded siege boats can go up there, and yeah, there were a ton of idols here for a while. His eco upgrade's also not good. Shelty is actually better eco upgrades. Has firm control of the map, and really as long as he's not getting pressured, he can hold off on his reg. In fact, he might try to get like fortified town center and then just wait until he gets a massive like 100 fill reg. And Domantas just alright. Domantas just calls it and resigns just like that. Would have liked to see him maybe play it out, but I think he realized that there is no way he was ever going to push out. Like his army here wasn't even going to beat this army, and you still had the raid coming forth later on. So that is it. GG, a very sudden end. His army comes running up to the water, and then he just packs it in and calls it a GG. So Shelty advancing to the semifinals for at least the third tournament in a row is in the semifinals. So good games though. This one kind of showed the power of well-timed raids against a second town center, and a second town center can be good. The problem was this town center didn't protect a lot of resources, and Domantas still needed to get out and get his food, and he also, because of this forest fire on the back wood line there, also had a problem with his wood. He almost should have like maybe chopped this wood first so that the forest fire gets used here, and then he has a safe wood to go back to. But that's a lot to think about right away at the beginning of the game, but kind of something you should be thinking about when you're seeing a Thor and you know a forest fire will come. But I think probably most people would actually do it back anyway, maybe, so they don't get their front open with a forest fire. And yeah, I do like it that the gods are changed in every game. There is kind of something to be said about a 7-game series between two players' best gods, and just to see them kind of willpowering their way to victory. But it's also really cool to see different gods in every game, and especially gods that you don't normally see in tournaments. Like, how often and towards the final stages of tournaments do you see in a deciding game match we're seeing a Thor versus Poseidon? So that's cool. And that is our series for tonight. Let's take a look at our post game. And you can see Domantas, even though he got that very early settlement, and that is 5, he got it about 3 minutes faster than Shelty did. He was never ahead economically, and even civilian totals was barely even ahead. And that's just due to Shelty's doing good raids. And what really he showcased was the value of splitting up your raiding group. So a lot of maybe not so good players will just combine their entire raiding army into one big raiding army. And you don't get as much value out of that, because when you think about it, if you have like 20 raiding cavalry in one army that's raiding, how often will actually all 20 even be able to be doing damage to villagers? They'll just be bouncing off of each other. So you get more benefit out of splitting up your raiding army, and you got 10 here, 10 there. If the Poseidon, who's on defense, comes up here with his army, then your other group can come down here and attack, and that's what Shelty did, and Shelty did that very well. So well played by Shelty. Really good pressure by the Thor. This was outside of a few bad battles that Shelty took, he put on a pretty good Thor clinic here. This was well played by him. So well played by Shelty, and well played also by Domantas, but Shelty played better. So 3-2, Shelty advances. So we will take a look at our brackets here before we turn this off for the night. And let's see. I will update that last game of Poseidon versus Thor. So Thor for Shelty Poseidon for Domantas with Shelty getting the win. So GG, well played by both. Yeah, you're right though, Bazor, is that the controlling two groups and the eco does require a lot of work. So a lot of times when you see Norse kind of not so good Norse players trying that, or any player, is then like the economy suffers as a result. And apparently Shelty, because his economy was so good, he must have managed it on the back end that we couldn't see. But let's take a look at our tournament. I will update our standings here. So Shelty with a 3, Domantas with a 2. So this is up to date on my end with the games that I have streamed. So it's not the most up-to-date schedule because I know there have been a few games that have already been played that I haven't streamed. But this is spoiler-free from my end. So let's get the... I'm beautiful. You want to marry me? I'm already married. Right here. Married. Sorry. Taken. Taken. But okay. No, I always click that one. All right, so here is the bracket. And we are all the way. We just saw Shelty play Domantas, so Shelty is in the semifinals. One of our other semifinalists is Joe. And we still have yet to stream Harrow versus Sun Tzu. Skatey versus Matrius. I'm not sure if I'll end up streaming that or not. I'll find out if I will. But I do know that Harrow and Sun Tzu played already, so I think probably tomorrow we will have Harrow versus Sun Tzu. Will be tomorrow night's stream, and then I will be working the rest of the weekend. So that'll be your next stream or your last stream from me for this week. A tank of a ring. This is actually like I think we got it for like $10. A ring is really just a ring. I don't really need anything special. I'm a guy anyway. What do I need? What do I need bling on my ring for? So don't need that at all. But so that's the bracket. That's what our next plan is. Thick? What do you mean? Like as wide? I don't know. It seems kind of standard for a guy's wedding ring. But yeah, we bought like a $10 one rather than a nicer one. Number one, because what's the real point? It's not like the guy wears the ring to wear a beautiful ring, but also bought like a cheap one because we figured I'd just lose it. So then I lost my $10 ring, I'd just get another $10 ring, and I haven't lost this ring yet. I'm so impressed with myself. Like every day I lose my cell phone, and I have to have my wife call it so I can find it. But this ring, I've not lost it. Moved 3 times with it, and no, I still got it. But if you marry me, I'll make you happy. I'm already happy, my man. Already. Well, you might be a lady, too. I'm not sure. Maybe you're a lady. But I'm still married. But yeah, so thanks, guys, for watching. And appreciate you guys sticking around. And tomorrow night, we should have, unless something happens, we should have our next one, which is Sun Tzu versus Harrow. And then I'll be gone for the weekend, and then I'll be back probably next Monday or maybe Tuesday for you guys. So that's about it, unless anybody has any last questions, comments, concerns, or complaints. Oh yeah, the other thing I was going to look up for Sigma, if he's in the chat, was to see if I could fix it so that MedJ shows up in the units. So let's see. I'll have to test and see. Am I making a new patch? There was some discussion about one at the beginning of the year, but there was like very little like agreement among what really should happen, so it kind of faded away. So at this point, no, there might be another small patch for Voobly at some point, but as of now, no. Potentially down the road, but who knows? I mean, at some point the patches have to end. I mean, you can't just infinitely patch the game. Um, but we'll see. I mean, there are a few things that could be tagged that are definitely kind of problematic. The GSS nerf patch is coming. All players seem to want. Yeah, I hate the mercs. It's just such a bad mechanic for the RTS thing. It's just like on paper it sounds great. You know, a sudden instant army to help defend, and that's kind of an Egyptian call sign. But the problem is that they don't really get used in defense, they get used in offense. And so what do? Do you like chop down their lifespan so much? But then what do you do with the technology that increases their lifespan? I mean, so there's not really a regal or beautiful or exact change that can fix it. And the EE Vubli also nerfed mercenary lifespan as well. I think he also touched their armor, which that is one I wanted to do as well. I wanted a combination lifespan and armor. Was kind of what I wanted, but there was not much agreement with that, so that didn't happen. And I can look real quick. What are the Egyptian mercenary? So the training time was increased, which that's actually a pretty big change. Increased. The mercenary infantry used to be able to spawn in 1 second, now it's 4, and mercenary cavalry was 3, and now it's 6. That's pretty important. And I guess the lifespan for was only decreased 5 seconds, which probably could be another 5 potentially. And then the upgrade also was nerfed as well. Or is that Hathor Medjay was decreased to plus 20 seconds from plus 30. The population. The problem if you add population is that you're completely nullifying like their design. And it's such a big design change. It's like, is it good? Is it bad? Or is it really just changing the game to the point where, for the most part, the Vubli balance patch tries to keep the game like as much as possible the same. I mean, there's been some stuff that have been added in, but when you kind of look back on it, really maybe didn't really change a whole lot that was cool. I mean, like, for example, being able to control walking woods is kind of a significant design change. The problem is that without being able to control them, they just were so buggy and sucky, it was kind of hard to make them okay. But now, even with them being controlled, like, statistically, they're probably a little bit over nerfed. And then the other thing, like, for example, undermine affecting other buildings is also a cool change, but just hard to like make it like really like useful without being like crazy overpowered. Um, and that's the point of the Vubli balance patch, because some people want it to be a little bit more like change more, but let's be real, the reason most people play this game is because they love it for the way it was, not they don't want to play Age of Mythology, not Age of JJ or Age of Vubli balance patch, so it kind of tweaks the game, but it doesn't change it. You can't give mercs range. That's like you can't do that. It doesn't work. There's nothing in the game files that allow you to, like, when the mercenary runs a certain distance away, it dies. There's no way to do that. The maps, I think people complain that they're too safe, but I don't know, when you actually start looking at the maps, especially compared to the original maps actually as a whole, outside of like some crazy map imbalances, they were actually at times really defensive. Like if you load up some original Alfheim maps or original marsh or watering hole maps, you could have big gold mines, especially for marsh and watering hole. You could have your 6,000 gold mine closer to your town center than the 3,000, and that was in the original one. And Alfheim like was way more defensive, because the cliffs used to be like much bigger, and I think that the maps are actually in a pretty good spot where they're at now. I I think people just aren't as aggressive as they could be. And the problem also is that, like, for example, one of the best gods is Set, who is all about grabbing the two-town center and being defensive. And is that more so the maps or just Set and what Set can do? And that Set can make every map a high hunt map with the free hunt and the other hunt. How often your starting hunt is nowhere near your base. I mean, there's only certain maps where it can be like that. For example, Savannah has a close hunt spawn, and then it has that initial hunt can spawn further away. Same thing for Medit, and Ghost Lake, I think, is like that as well. And then there's one more. Anatolia. It's like that as well. And the reason for that is that it also replicates the originals, because the original maps were like that for like Savannah, Anatolia, Ghost Lake were all like that originally. Is that you could have close hunt, your initial hunt could spawn in your base, or your initial hunt could spawn quite a bit away. I think Oasis is also kind of like that as well. Your zebra can be like really close and kind of a little bit far, but not super far. And that's why it kind of replicates that, is because for the most part, everything is tweaked, but designed to replicate the original. And I think over time, people kind of forget what the original maps were like, or now we have players, probably quite a few players that never even played on the original maps. But like, it would be very easy, like if we were to want to, like, to add new technologies, new units, new god powers. I mean, you could add a ton of stuff, but not just because the goal is to keep it pretty close to the original, because that's why people probably play on Voobly or Game Rangers, because they like the original, not some new game. But and people would disagree. I mean, personally, I would like to see new stuff. Like, I think it'd be cool to have like a new technology, or maybe not necessarily a new unit, but maybe like for some minor gods that are bad and their kit is just bad. It's just completely change the technology to make it better. And we've done that slightly, like when you think of Leto with like the Volcanic Forge, where it improves all units and ships' pierce armor. That's like a huge change, but I haven't done that a whole lot. Like, there's some technologies in this game that are just absolutely useless. And I mean, you go through the list and you could, like, why in the world are there so many Mythic Age boat technologies? Like, why? Why do I need to upgrade my triremes to 25 minutes into the game? But yeah, it's just weird when you think about that. Flaming weapons recharge 3 times like chaos, and that would be easy to do. Um, but yeah, so yeah, and like we couldn't like just completely copy over the Boggs Vigear or whatever, however you say it, because it'd kind of be, I don't know, probably not well looked upon. But you could just get a different model, and now you have your Boggs Vigear in Age of Mythology. Same thing for like the Surgeon and stuff. Like that, when the extended edition first came out, there was a poll back then. Like, do we want to add those new units into Boobly? And the majority said no, so it didn't happen. But it could happen, but just didn't. Um, Pimple Winter. Yeah, just imagine the recharge on that. And it was the same as the lasting of the god power. You just have. But it would be cool, but that's kind of the way the balance is even for the god powers. Now, the problem is you can't add the Chinese. The way the original was coded is you can't add new civs. It's stuck at 12. So the only thing you could do is like remove Gaia and just change everything, and then you would like could have like a Chinese, only it would be in the Gaia spot, which we're not going to do that, and that would take. I mean, this is all volunteer crap, all the Voobly stuff, and I probably wasted way too much time on the patch over the. Man, it's probably been 5 years that it's been having different versions. But it's taken a long time. That's also another reason why I'm not as big as putting out more patches, is because it takes a lot of work. Um, and yeah, I wish I don't play extended edition. It's just because of the lag and the performance, and that's what hurts for me. It's like I just I just can't enjoy it because of the quality, and I wish it were good because that's the future. Is the supported version by the developer. I mean, that's where all the new players come in. Like, if the extended edition would have actually been good without bugs, this community would be so much further than what it is. But I don't know, it's just a bad. And you could tell things were screwed up when you can see like there's more players that play the original AOM than do a extended edition, because if you combine Voobly and Game Ranger, I'm pretty sure it might be a little bit closer now that kind of some of the stuff for extended edition has been fixed, but for a while, definitely Voobly and Game Ranger's population was more than extended edition. And how can you be in 2000? I guess probably 17-ish is when it was most obvious. How can it be in 2017 that a 14, 13-year-old game has more users than the new updated version that's supported by the developer on Steam? It says that there's a huge problem with Steam. Yeah, that's too bad because, and it's nice that they're releasing some patches and hopefully be able to fix some stuff. But I think probably a lot of the problems are just with how the game is entirely coded, and I doubt that you could fix all of that through patches. You would probably have to like reprogram the entire game, because whatever they did when they changed it from AOM to extended edition, they screwed something up, and you with the engine or something, I don't know, but you'd probably have to completely redo the whole thing, and I doubt they're going to do that. Yeah, Age of Empires 2 Defended Edition looks good. I'm excited about that, so we'll see how that is. Um, we'll see. It's a different studio. It was Skybox, I think, that did HD, which sucked for a long time. It still is a little bit buggy, and then that did also extended edition, and now they have, I think it's Forgotten Empires that's doing that. So we'll see. Hopefully it's good, because if the definitive edition looks good, at least that gives some benefit. Restarting, yeah, that's too bad. You just hate to see those bugs and stuff. Dedicated servers would be really helpful too, but we'll see. Also, when you look at Age of Empires 2 compared to Age of Mythology, Age of Empires 2 has some crazy rich fans that just throw money into the community. I mean, they're having like $10,000, $20,000 tournaments. There's a reason, and that really helps keep the game going. Also, I mean, the game is really good. I mean, there's just something about it that it's just, there's something intangible about it that is just so good. I play it once in a while. I don't play it a ton just because it is a lot of work to like be decent at it, and it's kind of more fun to play Age of Mythology because you can kind of be lazy and still be decent, whereas Age of Empires 2 you really have to try to be decent. You can't like be sitting there and relaxing. But anyway, I'm probably gonna end it about now. We've been talking for a little bit, but yeah, I'll be on, should be on tomorrow. About usually starting time is about 2.5 hours before now, so I should be on around then. So do appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the games and the little fireside chat. I should have put in like, showed like a picture of a fire like in the background with the little sparks flying and stuff and the sounds. I don't know, there's something about a fire that's just so relaxing. But anyway, appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys hopefully tomorrow. Have a great day or night or whatever it is for you. So bye.